Hey everyone, welcome back to day 8 of your 30-day Pilates journey. Today we are slowing it down just a smidge to concentrate on breath. Breath is seriously important to the Pilates method of exercise and obviously very important to living in general. So it's a really good thing to practice every now and again. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. You can sit like I'm sitting, you can sit propped up on a yoga block or with legs long out in front of you or even up on a chair. It's just fine with me. I'm going to have you put one hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest, and then go ahead and shut your eyes if you feel comfortable. From here, you're just going to sit really tall and breathe normally in through your nose and out through your nose. Just noticing where your breath is going. If you feel it coming into your bottom hand, into the belly, if you feel it coming into your top hand, into your chest at all, just kind of notice without really changing anything. There's really no right or wrong way to breathe here. Just noticing where that breath is naturally going for you in this moment. And then go ahead and take a couple more easy breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. And then from here, we'll begin to deepen the breath a little bit. So we're just going to take a big inhale, trying to fill up the lungs as much as you possibly can. So just keep sipping up that air, sipping up that air, sipping up that air. And then let the air go all the way out. You can blow it out your mouth or through your nostrils, whatever feels the most right to you right now. We'll do that a couple more times. Taking the deepest breath in as you possibly can. Keep sipping up the air, sipping up the air, sipping up the air, and then exhaling all the way out. Trying to really wring your lungs out with taking all of the oxygen and blowing all of that air out of the lungs as much as you possibly can. And now on your next few breaths, let's inhale and notice where the breath goes. As you take your fullest inhale possible, where are you sending that air? Is it in towards your lower hand, towards your upper hand, in your back, your shoulders, your chest? No wrong answers. And then exhale all of that air completely out, completely emptying the lungs. One more big breath in like this. We'll inhale in, 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 and then out, 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 all the way out. Good. And then go ahead and just drop your arms for a moment and breathe equally, evenly in a normal cadence, in through your nose, out through your nose. Now from here, we're going to practice some straw breathing. So I want you to replace your hands back to where they were. So if you want to switch your hands to stay symmetrical, you can. So we're going to take one hand on the low belly, one hand up on the chest. And we're going to do a breathing practice called straw breathing, which is something a Pilates elder, Kathy Grant, taught to her students. Which was passed down to me through my teachers. So the idea of the straw breathing is that you're sending the air, you're sipping up the air as if you're breathing in, sucking a thick milkshake up through a big straw. And you can imagine the big straw starting down here at the lowest part of your container. So right down in your lowest deep abdominals, and that straw traveling all the way up the torso into the nostrils or into the mouth. We're going to breathe in and out through the mouth for this one. So I'm going to have you begin to sip up that air and start to fill the air up from the bottom all the way up to the top, sucking up that super thick milkshake all the way up, 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 up into the top until your air is filled up as high as it can go. And then let it all out from the top to the bottom. Let's do that again. Bring the air in through the mouth. All the way up through that thick, thick straw, filling your lungs, filling up all of the space in your torso with air. and then letting it all go. One more time. Let's try these last two. In through the nose, out through the nose. Sip up the thick milkshake from the bottom to the top. Let's go in for 5, 4, 3. That air is rising and filling. 2, 1. And then exhale all the way down to the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more time in through the nose, sipping up for 1, rising higher. 2, rising higher with that breath. 3, 4, 5, and then all the way down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now let that go. Let your arms drop. Shake it out. Those big deep breaths will really kind of help prepare your body and serve you for the Pilates work. And this is the type of breathing actually that we do in exercises like the 100, where we breathe in fully and then we exhale fully. And it really helps us to contract through our abdominals and lift our diaphragms. So next we're going to work on lateral breathing, which I like to call a lot accordion breath. And this is also a Kathy Grant term. The accordion breath, or the lateral breath, is simply your lungs expanding, or your ribs expanding outward towards the side walls, like an accordion would, in order to make space for the air to go in that direction, so that you can keep your tight jacket zipped up, you can keep your belt super tight around your waist, and your ribs knitted down in the front. So when we're breathing, we're not letting everything go in the abdominal region, but we're kind of zipping it up, keeping it tight as the lungs and the rib cage expands outward like an accordion, and then it contracts inward on your exhale back to the midline of the body. So we're going to practice that in a couple of ways. So I'm going to have you take your hands and put them onto your rib cage, and we'll begin to breathe in through the nose. But first I want you to zip up, grow taller here through the waist as you tighten up your tight belt around your waist. And then go ahead and close your eyes if that feels good for you. As we inhale, with your hands on your rib cage, if this is uncomfortable for your shoulders, you can always kind of bring the backs of the hands in, or do one hand at a time across the body, just so you can feel your ribs. We're going to breathe in and let the ribs expand outward to the side, and let your hands feel how the ribs do so as you inhale, keeping that low belly tight, and then exhale, feel the ribs accordion back into your midline. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale to expand outward sideways. Exhale back into the midline, and I like to feel my zipper get a little bit tighter as I exhale as well. Inhale to expand out, and I'm still holding those abdominals tight, and exhale to zipper back in towards the midline. Now go ahead and let all of that go. We're going to accordion breath in one more way, which I really love to do in order to really feel my rib cage move laterally side to side. So I'm going to have you lie down on one side here and just rest in whatever space is comfortable. You're going to place your top arm onto your ribs. Now, your top rib side of the rib cage is going to be moving up towards the ceiling now into your hand as you breathe in. So let's zip up your tight jacket and begin to breathe in and begin to breathe out, and then just notice how your rib cage moves. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, if you practice this enough with intention, it'll begin to come a little bit more naturally without having to think about it, and it's going to be game changing for your Pilates practice. You'll be able to do all of those abdominal exercises, keeping your girdle of strength, your internal girdle of strength on, as you also at the same time take full deep breaths into your accordion breathing. Yes, and then go ahead and let that go, and we'll just flip over to the other side to feel how our rib cage can expand sideways in order to create space for breath. So let's go for it. breathing in, feeling the top of your rib cage expand towards the ceiling here on this top side, and then exhaling. And you can also use the floor for some tactile feedback as you breathe in. This bottom side here that I'm lying on is pushing into my mat as my ribs expand laterally, as I keep my Pilates scoop, my tight jacket zipped up, my belt on, and my vest super tight. That internal corset is still working with each inhale and with each exhale. Good. Now, let's go ahead and slowly sit up tall. If all that deep breathing got you feeling a little lightheaded, no worries, that's normal. And we're going to take this practice with us into the next 22 or so days, and then hopefully further into the future for your Pilates practice. I will see you on the mat tomorrow for day 9.